Hey everybody, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Leah Catherine and this is Leah Sees Movies and also TV. And it is the first day of What If, the fourth Marvel series of the year, which is crazy because we went a whole year without Marvel and now there's so much Marvel all the time. This was my second most anticipated show, so I'm really excited to see where this goes. I really love animation and I really like to see Marvel like really leaning into animation and kind of for a wider audience. Obviously there's been a lot of Marvel animated shows, but it seems like they're generally like some kids watch this and we don't really market it too heavily to a wider demographic. So I'm happy that they're doing that. And of course with the events of Loki, it seems like most of the show is actually canon, like that there's a universe where all of these things are happening. So I guess that just adds an interesting new dynamic to every episode, because it's like, is this just a fun what if, or is this going to show up later? But I'm not going to think about that too much before actually watching the episodes. So on that note, let's get started. This is the Captain Carter episode, I believe, which I know that because they changed Sam's Captain America thing on Twitter, and it was in poor taste. Like, there's a what if Twitter account. I don't get the point of that. Also, it's at Captain America. She has a Union Jack on her chest. I get that it was marketing, but...
Time.
I forgot Jeffrey writes The Watcher. Ooh, he's a great voice.
Where a single choice can branch out into infinite realities. I am the Watcher. I am your guide through these vast new realities.
He had a lot less to do when there was only one reality.
And ponder the question, what if?
I already know I like the animation for the trailers, but I'm really into it. Like, it's not 3D obviously, but it has this like texture to it.
But in another universe,
okay,
a single choice created a whole new hero.
Agent Carter, wouldn't you be more comfortable in the booth?
No, I prefer to stay.
There. That's the moment that created a new universe.
Oh. No!
Well, oh, little tiny Steve. Hell yeah, Peggy.
Focus on me.
She watched the general go down and was like, that's fine.
Hang on, I'll be right back.
I'm not going.
Howard, get ready. Agent Carter!
Begs the question, could Steve have been wearing a tank top too? Was the shirt not optional? Or it was optional? And he just was like, nah, no shirt. We want a bigger, beefy reveal. Yes, they made her beefy too! Ah, lovely. She's huge, I love it!
I was promised an army. I was promised peace and salvation. Instead, I get a girl. You get lucky, someday your blood might tell us how to make a real super soldier.
You have a super soldier.
Women aren't soldiers, and they sure as hell don't fight on the front lines.
But Peggy basically was already doing all that. Like, I realized that he's like the jerk TM, but like her first move was just punching a dude in the face for questioning her place in the army.
Not according to Colonel Flynn, that weapons grade moron.
It could be worse. Flynn could stick you on one of those USO tours.
We all have someone fighting for us. It would be nice if we could fight for them.
And don't worry about me. I never was much of a dancer anyway.
Maybe you haven't found the right partner.
I feel like this is like, okay, cool, what if Captain Britain? But also, for everyone who's still mad about the end of Endgame, we're gonna like, remember how much you liked Peggy and Steve? Remember how cute they were? Don't worry about the fact that the ending doesn't make sense and Steve completely turned back on 10 years of characterization development. Just, look how cute they are.
Close. Hydra, Hitler's very own supernatural sciences division.
Given the gamma signatures coming off that clock tower, what they were looking for could power London for a century.
Or blow it to kingdom come inside 60 seconds.
What you seek is just a legend. Then why do you try so hard to hide it?
Ooh.
If we send a team tonight, we can get our
You're
hands...
out of your mind, Stark.
I could go.
Great, now you're both crazy. Fantastic.
Yeah, this dude is so much less pleasant than Tommy Lee Jones. Like, he was always brusque and rude and kind of dismissive, but this guy is...
Drowning in troubles? I thought you Brits were supposed to be resilient.
Just the men, apparently.
Can I give you a piece of advice?
Also, why is she under the control of an American? I get that she's in exchange, but she's still British. Can't she just go back and be like, I'm gonna go fight some people anyway?
Awkward.
The shield sound is so satisfying. And that's why you wear a seatbelt, kids.
Are you seeing this?
I like her genuine excitement over what she's just like, I didn't even know I could do this. This is amazing.
I'm usually a bit more covert.
I mean, if you watched Agent Carter, kinda not really. She hit people with whatever was in the area. Ooh.
The Allies must be desperate, sending in a fragile Fraulein to fight for them.
Fragile.
You just watched her throw a car and you're like, nah, but I'm good at punching. I'll be different.
The war's out there, Colonel, not in here. If we're going to win, it won't be with me stuck behind a desk. Better promote me. Captain has a nice ring to it.
Oh, I know exactly what to do with this.
Is this gonna power ye old Iron Man suit?
Bucky's unit is now 50 kilometers behind the front line. I can't ask you to go.
You're not asking. He's your friend.
I owe you one.
You owe me a dance.
Invades a prisoner of war camp because this guy I think is cute's best friend is there. That's not why she's invading a prisoner of war camp, because people are being held prisoner, but like... Okay. Granted, Peggy already had combat abilities, but she is doing things Steve would have never attempted in the first Avenger. She is flexing hard.
Since today, understood.
Are you the 107th? I'm here for Sergeant Barnes.
Who are you supposed to be? Queen of England?
That was a weird line read.
Steve Rogers sent me. The name's Captain Carter.
Stark made me some new dancing shoes.
What do you think?
Well, then we better start dancing.
We love combat flirting. Wait, that was sick as hell. They should do that IRL. But that kind of requires the super soldier serum. I'm so worried about Sam's movie. Anyway, moving on. They're really leaning into this big band dancing thing, huh?
And I've always said that Peggy is a real knockout. Sure, I told Stark to build it myself.
At what point does she knock out the General Colonel dude though? Because he's getting on my nerves. If this was Invincible, that guy would have gone straight into the rotator thing. But we're keeping it for the kids. Despite all of the gun murder. That's fine.
The Fuhrer demands your presence in Berlin.
A god does not answer to a man.
That is a lot of confidence for a man without a Tesseract.
Son of Hydra shall be summoned from beyond the stars. My champion.
Yeah, babes, that was never gonna go your way, but good for the confidence.
The Third Reich will fall, and Hydra will rise from its ashes.
Hail Hydra! Hail Hydra! They're still doing that thing where they're like, Hydra isn't like really Nazis, they're their own thing, but also we're gonna use all Nazi imagery and pretend they're not Nazis, I guess.
You've always been a fighter. In a way, the outside finally matches the inside. I'm still that skinny kid from Brooklyn. Now just in a big metal suit.
The suit is nothing without the man inside. You're my hero, Steve. I mean, you're a hero.
Aww.
You're my hero, too.
As a companion to the first Avenger, when I was really, it's like, oh, Peggy and Steve, they're so cute. I'm like enjoying it, but the other part of me is like, just feels like a attempt to make Endgame less bad.
I'm in position.
Copy. Time to make our entrance. Commencing Operation Where Eagles Dare.
That's so long. Why would you announce that your operation? Just go do it. Oh.
Peggy, go! Get out of...
Alright, so we leave Steve on the train this time.
Peggy, we gotta go.
Later, please.
You said the Hydra Stomper was indestructible.
It is. Was.
His name is Steve Rogers, not the Hydra Stomper.
She should never have been in the field in the first place.
Oh, shut up. Ew, is she showing emotions in public? Disgusting. Everything she's done completely irrelevant because she shouldn't have been in the field in the first place.
Force that will lead Hydra to world domination. And if that fails, world annihilation.
Talk about being a few sardines short of a can.
The Reds.
I'm not enjoying Bucky in this. I'm sorry.
You'd need the Stomper to get close.
Colonel, you're lucky to even be in the room.
Tables turn, the tables turn.
We might not survive, but we will stop Hydra.
I just think it's weird there's no more British people on the team.
I'm in. For Steve.
Yes. Let's do it for Rogers.
Come on, Howard. We might need someone to push a button.
Just Captain Britain. You think they'd be like, can we have a couple of our own on this team? That makes sense. Why is she being commanded by an American? Maybe I'm too concerned with like the international politics of this, but I don't get it. I'm a big fan of this animation. They are murdering so many people. Yeah, that guy's dead too. Why is he in a suit? Like, I understand he's not a natural born fighter, but sir, why are you in a blazer? Also, when did they get the Tesseract back? Did I miss a whole scene? Maybe I do talk too much in these. I really don't. The US people had the Tesseract. Howard used it to power the suit. And now Red Skull has it? I genuinely don't know when this happened. Oh, okay. They got Steve. I really caused a whole crisis.
The champion of Hydra has risen! You're too late, Captain Carter. I have summoned the champion of Hydra.
I have summoned a giant space octopus. Weirdly, this is not going my way.
You gotta get me in the suit. The generator should give the suit enough power.
Yeah, but for how long?
Long enough.
Anything. This is crazy.
Yeah, so is Steve Rogers.
Was Bucky always this quippy? I haven't watched First Avenger in a while. Oh, wow.
You okay?
Yep.
Its tentacles appear to be growing.
Probably should push the turn off
Race
button.
is spreading it to devour Europe.
And everything's in German. Great.
Well, figure it out.
Feels like maybe you should have learned some German during this war. Ooh, we love a sword. Also going with old school Hydra mythology. Cut off a head.
Hedy Lamarr and I spent a weekend together, but she wasn't teaching me German.
Come on, Pegatha. Steve.
Did you miss me?
Every second.
I told you it was indestructible.
You were saying, Howard?
Well, he meant when it was powered by the Tesseract.
Lord of the calamari.
Bucky is so annoying in this. Was he like this the whole time? Nah, give me Bucky with trauma. Oh, we don't like that. So is this gonna be Peggy's sacrifice play?
And I'll push it back to hell.
That would only work for 10 seconds and then it would just wrap itself around you.
I have to. I can end this.
You owe me a dance lesson.
Yes. Saturday night.
Nah, yeah. I have questions about how she got a grip, but we'll leave it alone for now. And it's gonna be modern times.
Ma'am, please put down the sword.
Eee!
Where's Steve Rogers?
The war ended almost 70 years ago.
Of course. We won the war.
As for me, these are my stories. I observe all that transpires, for I am
Amazing voice.
the Watcher.
Alright, so that was episode 1 of What If. I liked it, not quite as much as I hoped to, only because it felt so similar. I mean, to be fair, the giant space octopus was a surprise, but it really did feel like, okay, so if you saw the first Avenger, it's basically the same, but with Peggy this time, and a lot more Peggy Steve situations, like, which is weird because it's like Steve became Captain America and like Peggy's there the whole time, but you know, they only have these like couple of moments, whereas when Peggy becomes Captain America, it's just they're in a rom-com the whole time. Like everything is just layered with like, ooh, they're into each other, which also makes the fact that they haven't even kissed really embarrassing because y'all had plenty of time. But that's, you know, unrelated. Yeah, no, I did enjoy it. It's just, it felt very similar to what we've seen. It was like, okay, it felt a lot like, oh, you know how you liked that character? This is that character, but animated. So I really want them to like kind of go buck wild with it. Like I want it to just be a completely one small thing creates a whole new world. Like, for example, I can't see T'Challa as Star-Lord not having like massive ramifications, not only just maybe he lives the life Star-Lord lives, but what happens in Wakanda when the heir apparent goes missing? Like, yeah, so Killmonger becomes the king of Wakanda. Like, that just seems like there's, you really see those ripple effects in a scenario like that. Whereas this one felt pretty much identical to what happens in the original timeline. Yeah, even the reveal when she comes back in the present day isn't as fun as Steve's. I love that slow realization, the fact that they tried to set it up, let's look at the past, he figures it out immediately, he runs out, he breaks out, he's like, oh, I've been captured. Like, there was that tension, whereas there was 10 seconds of, ma'am, the war's over, and she's just like, oh, okay. Also, her first question, of course, is where's Steve, because that's her only thought, I guess. That's a lie. That's not her only thought. What I did like was the Steve parts were a little too much for me. I wanted them to tone that down, but I really do enjoy how they keep repeating, like, we're gonna win the war, probably. We're gonna win the war, definitely. We're gonna win the war, this one last mission. It felt very much like it's my last day and then I'm gonna retire, and then it's like, of course everything is gonna go wrong. And so with that kind of repeating note of I'm gonna win the war, so like the final tragedy is just like, well, we won the war, and it's just like, so I really loved that as an ending note. I really like that we're focusing on, in a way we obviously saw with Steve, but with Peggy, who was, I think, very much more a soldier from the beginning, someone who fought her way into the military, who fought her way up the ranks, and unlike Steve, doesn't really get respect as much. Obviously Steve was, you know, turned into a USO boy and sold war bonds and was kind of made into a dancing monkey, but once he was in it, everyone was like, okay, cool, I respect him entirely. Whereas with Peggy, she's still hampered by the fact that she shows emotions and it's immediately back to, she should have never been in the field anyway. Whereas when Bucky died and Steve was mourning, everyone was like, oh, that's sad, he lost a brother in arms. Like, no matter what you do, there's these limitations that Steve would never have. The idea of the war being over and what does that mean was something we saw dealing with Steve in Age of Ultron, and like, you're the eternal soldier, like how do you function when the war is over? Whereas with Peggy, it seemed like the theme here was more like, what must you give up for the war to be over? How much do you need to sacrifice for the war to be over? So she was prepared to sacrifice her life, wasn't really prepared to sacrifice her friends, the guy she loved, or 70 years of her life trapped in an interdimensional space pocket with the octopus. Yeah, I feel like that got real confused. Leah hates romance. Too much of it. Talk about Steve. Why was Bucky so annoying? I'm sorry. Like, he definitely had one-liners. He was quippy in the first one. Maybe it's just because there's, you know, that's why they made him stop talking. I was like, dude, shut up. If you make one more one-liner, I'm gonna throw you off the train myself. I enjoyed it. Some of the more thematic elements of it. I really like the animation. I really like the fight choreography. But most of the story did feel so similar to the original, like, first Avenger plotline that I was kind of like, okay. You're not really shocking me here. You're not really introducing too many new elements, which is a little disappointing. But I like the roots of the show, so I'm excited to see if it can grow in a new and slightly more exciting way. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. If you don't want to do that, but you watched all the way to the end of this video, thank you. I still really appreciate you. You can follow me on Twitter at Leah Sees Movies, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.